T1 are going to pick first pick with their Roths right of first selection.
And D+ are going to go blue side. Oh, how did I know?
Whoa, that's a crazy prediction.
Yeah,
You're really on fire today.
Yeah, I just know it all.
You are a bit of a know-it-all. Let's get into game number 1.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at the draft.
I think
here.
one pick I'm particularly interested in is the Rise, because both Faker and Showmaker have been, I mean, it's really strong, right? But both Faker and Showmaker have been heavily prioritizing it in particular. So I'm interested to see if that does come out and if teams have prepped, if it does come through, specific counters. Because we've seen the Cassiopeia, we've seen the Anivia work to great effect. Obviously T1 having first picked are in a better position. Right now we're just kind of banning the OPs with Malphite, Varus, and Jace getting taken out. The Bard ban, phenomenal from D+. Wow.
It can be difficult when you're, especially when you're second pick, to ban Bard, because there's a lot of stuff to ban. Like Rumble is still available here. I think you almost definitely have to ban that one. No, never mind. They're just going to ban Nocturne. So,
okay, so
Rumble's up.
Rumble's open, and there's a lot of mids available. So I don't think you need to take mid here, because there's Azir, there's Orianna, there's Rise. I expect them to lean on the Rumble, but actually they're like, no, out of all those mids, we really, really prioritize the Azir. That's how much emphasis we put on this. We care more about that than getting the Rumble, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think it's fine, you know, with Viband as well. You have a little bit less synergy with the Rumble, but Rumble is just so strong that I do feel like it still has to be picked here by DK, because you do not want to give both Azir and Rumble to T1. So that'll be an easy selection there. But what are they going to go with for their next pick? Do they try to get a top jungle, or maybe even something like a Yunara? We've seen it being picked more in game 1, even though there is still a lot of potential lockdown.
I think going Ori is the pick that you go if you just don't want to show your hand, because as also when T1 respond on their 2-3, if you haven't picked up your mid laner, D+ are locked into it on their third pick, so they have no flexibility. So I think going Ori here means you have more flexibility on that third pick. You can react a bit more to whatever T1 take, which looks like it's going to be this Ambessa. Now the question to me is, are you going to keep this as a flex, and on that third pick potentially pick an AD carry up, or are you going to just show your hand and take maybe a jungler here to pair up, or a top laner, and have this Ambessa in the jungle?
Ambessa's a really good pick. You want to take that away from Xiu anyway.
Yeah, I think so, especially given it obviously is fearless. Taking that away from Xiu and not letting him play it for the entire series, a lot of value. Doran's had some great games on it if it does go to him. But I think keeping it as a flex and getting an AD carry here could be pretty a strong strategy as well. But they are just going to go for the Jarvan here. So Ambessa for Doran. Jarvan coming through, which I think especially Jarvan Azir into an Orianna, a little bit uncomfortable, given that you are an immobile mage. So when your flash is down, you have a lot of vulnerability. And also, when I'm thinking about AD carry picks, you kind of need an immobile AD carry here into what T1 are putting up. You can't really play something like a Feliosia, I feel like, unless you're
You
really...
mean a mobile carry, right?
A mobile, sorry, yeah, a mobile carry. You really will struggle to play something like a Feliosia unless you're like playing pixel perfect, or you have a lot of peel. There's just a lot to get on top of you.
Yeah, and they also take the Jarvan away from the Orianna, so it could be very nice, you know, especially against if T1 wanted to go for something immobile, then you could potentially have Jarvan and Orianna with the Rumble over the top with the Equalizer. Could be kind of dead meat for any AD carry that doesn't have a dash. So taking a look now at what we're going to get into in the bottom lane. We did see Xin Zhao picked by Lucid. Another pretty good ball carrier, not the tippy top tier, but
yeah,
still pretty good.
Eco still open and available. Probably going to get a look in terms of bans. Sivir taken away, I think makes sense as well, because you're never really going to be able to pick it as D+, because you're into a Jarvan. So denying it from the other side. The Yunara ban comes through. I think also makes a good amount of sense, because even though there's a lot of lockdown from T1, it's not like targeted. And you don't really want to go, I don't like Nautilus with Jarvan, because the terrain kind of interrupts you being able to follow up from the Cataclysm. So they'll just take that one away. Are they going to risk leaving the Nico? I mean, I guess Okay, they take away the Kai'Sa, so Kai'Sa and Nico not going to be a possibility.
You can still play Nico.
I mean, it has good pairings.
Yeah. It's definitely a very strong pick for Keria.
I mean, also for D+ as well.
Yeah.
So it could be T1 want to deny it here.
This music is great. I'm really liking this. Nami
Good vibes.
going to be banned away.
I think D+ could honestly, I think the suspicion with the Nami ban is that it could have just been like Nami Corki. They could just go Corki here. They could also look to secure the Nico. Nico in a Jarvan is sometimes a little irritating though, because again, the Cataclysm stops you from doing like rocket belt combos. You can't just get caged and killed. Corki would be like very safe just to pick up here. But Smashed Confident on the Ezreal is going to lean towards that. And again, you need something mobile into T1's composition to deal with the fact that you're into a Jarvan, an Azir, and an Ambessa already.
We know Smash's Ezreal is great. I don't think it should be a big surprise to see him pick it up there, unless they were going to go for Corki, which might be the pick of Pays. Doesn't have to be, but Corki has definitely been a very strong pick in the AD carry role nowadays, even just acting alone. Nico is something you've been talking about a lot. That's going to be snatched up there by Keria.
Yeah, there's a risk here that D+ go Ezreal Karma, and Karma can really punish the Nico in lane, but I think Keria definitely a player who's confident to take that matchup. The question is, what are you pairing with the Nico? And they go Jhin. So playing for a bit of lane pressure. Also, with the amount of setup your team has already, you can just ult to follow up. D+ will just go the Karma, yeah. Not too much of a surprise. I think what you kind of need into the Nico to really contest the lane. I think if you go melee support, you're just going to get bullied out completely. Also, the fact that you have like the shielding from the Orianna, the shielding from the Karma. Enchanters in general with Xin Zhao, really powerful. One thing is that you are kind of lacking CC with this D+ composition. You know, we talk about Rumble Equalizer, not the greatest setup for it. You're kind of just freeballing it, so...
And you're engaged as well. It's like you've got Shockwave, or you've got like Xin Zhao, who either directly charges in or like charges up his Q and then flashes on. So it's very easy to see coming. You know exactly what you're going to be looking at, and as you mentioned, there's not a lot of setup. And now we're getting into a very nice game number 1 between D+ Kia and T1.
I do want to clarify, it was like a plush that he was doing that to.
Oh.
It wasn't like the actual person in the mascot costume. I really need to clear that up.
I just thought it was like a picture, you know, like a drawing or something.
No, it was like he had a plush on the stream and he was going like this.
Why is he doing that to Auntie? What did Auntie do to him?
I don't know, but it was pretty funny. Bot lane already pretty hectic. This is a rough matchup for the Nico. So Keria and Pays need to be on their A game to try and out-trade the Karma Keria at the Karma Ezreal, sorry. Because you are just outranged. There's a Mantra Q missing, which is definitely not a good feeling for Korea, but you can see they've already gotten a good amount of poke down.
I feel like you're going to struggle in this matchup. Because Career and Keria, in American English, they're pretty distinct. But I feel like for you, they're kind of similar. What do you think?
Keria, yeah. Keria. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The D+ support. The T1 support.
The Nico.
The Nico.
Yeah.
The Karma. Yeah. Yeah, it's already...
We have 5 games of this, maybe.
Oh man.
Potentially.
It's okay. I'm a professional. I can do my job.
But you are also British, so... Yeah.
What does that mean?
Not just saying, you know, I don't know.
I resent the implication.
Faker went for a pretty aggressive trade. See that early on can be a little bit annoying for the Azir, but...
There's been a lot... Oh, there is a darn roam right now. He got early prio.
Isn't this legal? Like, are you allowed to do this? Okay, Showmaker is just dead. He's so deep in this lane. And now he has to all in on a Faker. Takes a turret shot, and he got the kill! Oh, man!
That feels like a big flub from T1, I'm going to be honest. The fact that Showmaker is able to make that into a 1-for-1 is massive. Doran gets the kill, which in terms of gold is good, but he does lose a lot of time in lane, loses some experience and quest progress, right? You get so much passive progress in the top lane, so he's missing out on that. But yeah, Faker opting to hold his flash in that situation.
I mean, he might have it for level 6. Maybe they can set something up, but yeah, he could have also just potentially flashed. He's like, what the hell is this?
I think maybe it was just in the mindset of like, if I can save my flash and kill him, that's just game, right? I'm assuming that was like the mindset in this situation, but it ends up backfiring.
Yeah, Showmaker was, I wouldn't say complaining, but he was questioning thoroughly why the Mbessa was mid, as you would. Owner is going to be spotted, but the trade went heavily in Xiu's favor.
Yeah, got to respect the Rumble damage, especially as Lucid was on this side of the Oh, man! Overthinking it, going for those mantra Qs. And actually, Carrier's got a Amp Tome, and Korea's only got that Fairy in a Bottle, we're going to call it.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times
glowing mode, that's it, that's it, yes.
Wolf always knows that one, but I just call it Fairy in a Bottle anyway.
I like Fairy in a Bottle.
That's kind of what it looks like. I mean, that's what it is. Generally, supports nowadays will go back and buy a refillable and a ward.
What a cloth armor.
What did he mean by that? Is he just... Okay, he's okay. Owner is here, Lucid is... Oh! And now he's going to be forced to flash as Lucid extends that and makes him run.
So Flash now banned from Faker. Obviously had that save from earlier. But it does mean that Flash won't be available at level 6 to try and capitalize on Showmaker's lack of summoner. Bot lane, I think Carrier and Pei's doing a pretty decent job of mitigating the pressure we saw earlier. Typically after the first back, and once you start getting more points in the queue of Karma Ezreal, it can actually get worse. When you get like level 5, the Karma Ezreal gets so much power in the Mystic Shot and the... I can't remember what the queue of Karma is called. I'm just going to call it Karma Q. So it does a lot of damage, but Carrier and Pei's been finding some good trades, so holding up pretty solidly.
This is a replay, actually. We can see they're still trading, but yeah, they traded flashes, but Doran got away, which actually is a win for the Mbessa. But then he did hit level 6 first and misses ult, so not really able to capitalize that on that just yet.
Yeah. Is it in a flame? Is it Q?
Karma?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody just knows it as the big magic missile Q thing.
No, it's not magic missile. That's an orb.
No, I know, but
in a flame. It is in a flame.
Oh, it is in a flame. Nobody calls it that. Career's so dead, and Owner, easy pickup for him. Just rooted into the flag and drag, and now Smash going to be forced to flash away. Might still die here, as tons of damage is coming out. The flash fourth shot gets the job done,
and Carrier
lives, and so does Pei's. It's 2 kills for T1 in the bottom lane.
So nice from T1 there. You know, Carrier hits the inner flame, but it's just not enough. Not enough to mitigate things. Hitting the inner flame, it's not significant enough.
That. Nobody uses that.
I'm bringing it back. No, but Korea, pretty overextended. They have deep vision. You can see there's a ward near the tower. There's that control ward in the river. But Owner finds a great angle around the back. The Karma is just immediately dead and then smashed. Despite having Arcane Shift and Flash, is chased down. The trap from Pei slows him as he flashes over. And then the fourth shot at the end to finish off. Considering that you took the Karma Ezreal to win lane, this is an absolute disaster for D+ to be in a deficit already here.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that the trade went so heavily to Pei's and Carrier to begin with. And then, obviously, Owner was there, so just makes it insult to injury.
Yeah, a little scary there, Owner hanging around. There's a lot of flashless people. I say a lot, there's 2 on D+, and one of them has an Arcane Shift. But Shiwu was one of them that they could have targeted. There's a lot of flashless people on T1, to be honest, but that's less pressing because there's another Cataclysm to deal with.
Yeah, Doran was like 10 seconds off of his public execution, so not the best timing for Owner to show himself, but
okay, come on. Korea and Smash. Let's see what you can do. We'll see if Korea can hit an Inner Flame. Mantra-empowered Inner Flame.
Wow.
Is what we're looking for.
Do you know the other ability names?
Inspire is the E.
Shoot, maybe in a little bit of trouble, but actually he just harpoons him and runs away.
The shield is Inspire, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And?
Well, Mantra's the ult.
Yeah.
The W...
Tether.
Is it just Tether?
I don't think that's the real name, but that's what everybody...
Everyone calls it Tether. I don't want to change that.
Like in
Focused Resolve? No one's calling it that. Wait, hit.
Bruh. Okay, these Qs are not hitting, and now they're trying to bait them. It's a little bit obvious.
Actually, her upgraded Q is called Soul Flare, so...
Oh. The ability names change when you upgrade them.
It's getting too confusing, I give it.
She was actually in a bit of trouble here, although the equalizer does come down, and now Doran is burning, but he just gets autoed to the face, and the Hex Drinker, some serious value in that 1v1.
Yeah, the equalizer not getting any value at all, really, for Shiwu there. The Hex Drinker coming up clutch, Doran delaying his first item to get that. And yes, he's down a little bit in terms of farm in the matchup, but to be getting a solo kill when you've given over Rumble, the premier top laner off the patch, you gotta be feeling good in Doran's position. Bot lane's going good. Honestly, T1 are in a phenomenal spot considering how that comp just feels easier to play when you get to the 5v5s.
Yeah, it is pretty straightforward. As Faker gonna take a bit of damage there, gonna peel off of the dragon as 4 members of DK are here. And they do want to respect it after that bit of poke did come through. Things still going very well. That's going to be a forced flash. His owner was right there and ready to follow up, if need be.
I think taking a summoner from the Orianna always good. Baiting that flash makes a really vulnerable target into this composition. It's something we talked about in the draft. So it means when we get to those 5v5s, you can just start it off targeting Showmaker. Showmaker does a ton of damage in return, though. And it does give up a lot of pressure, but Faker will TP back in to catch the wave. Doran doesn't
He's about to
extend the trade because he doesn't have any cooldowns left, but this matchup's starting to get very scary for Shiwu. I mean, Shiwu was just so low. And everything connects, and the equalizer just gets very little value. The shield comes up. It was close, to be fair, but just well played there by Doran.
Yeah. Just understanding his kill range. So we do have Lucid pretty far ahead in farm, but Owner's being very active around the map, trying to find ganks and stuff. But the Void Grubs are going to go the way of D plus Kia. It does look like this first Drake, though, should be traded, so T1 totally fine with this. Getting an early Infernal Drake. The Soul Flare comes over the wall.
Not enough to catch it. Oh, they're throwing everything.
And Owner didn't have Smite, so he actually just waited.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, a lot of farm for Lucid, but still about even in gold with Owner, so not really accruing much in terms of items as an advantage, but he is a level up on the Jarvan. But again, that's not a crazy advantage that you're going to win a game off as of right now. You see Lucid trying to find an angle here, but there's quite a lot of vision in the vicinity, and those traps set up as well.
Yeah. Traps keep them safe. Keria is looking at that direction. Looks like the public execution was used by Doran, so Shiu getting pretty low. Equalizer still held on to.
This top matchup, if you're already struggling this much, it's not going to get better. Like, Doran's going to get his first completed item, you know, assuming he goes Eclipse, and he's just going to start completely decimating the matchup. So I am worried for Shiu. Also, when he hits level 11 and gets the upgraded...
We got the root coming down, and now Career's in a lot of trouble. He's just eating shots to the face, has to flash away. And it is all blocked there. Scary was trying to make things interesting with Smash in the front line.
Yeah, Smash getting some good damage back and also blocking all the shots. Doing some more here.
Smash is just so good at Ezreal.
Yeah.
It is one of the champions that he first made his name on.
Ooh, close there. Yeah, saving grace, I feel like, for D+ right now is that they have Smash on Ezreal. Doran has just hit level 11, though.
Showmaker doesn't have Flash still, so I think he just dies unless Lucid can somehow save him as Faker holds the Emperor's Divide for the Xin Zhao. Very intelligent there, as he's able to keep Lucid out of the play.
Honestly, the angle was great because he pushed Lucid away, but didn't clip Showmaker and knock him out of the Cataclysm. So, got everything he wanted. But Doran right now is so strong. Level 11, so he gets the upgraded passive stats on his ultimate. Also has the Eclipse. I'm worried for Shiwu right now in this 1v1 matchup. He was already struggling. He's just going to be having such a bad time.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to bait a fight here with Lucid going up top, but you know, part of the reason why Lucid has so much farm is because he hasn't really been able to affect any of these lanes. Like, he hasn't been able to get up to the top lane when Doran was getting aggressive. The Orianna's just kind of been by her lonesome, getting ganked by Ambessa. And bottom lane, we saw what happened down there. So Lucid just kind of farming this one out.
I think once Doran gets his ult cooldown and Hex Drinker cooldown, which are coming up, if he sees an angle, he will just take that all in.
Yeah, 4 seconds until that happens. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
That is the matchup now, so...
I think he can kill him under turret as well. And
I think he thinks that too.
There it is. He's still going to go for the trade. I mean, might as well. And I say trade, but he's looking for the kill as the Harpoon does get Doran. And the Equalizer comes down. He's out of cooldowns, and the Equalizer does get him at the end of the day. And Doran oversteps. He was very strong, but now he gives a bit back to Shiyu.
I think he was just listening to us hype him up a bit too much there and bought into it. Carrier trying to go for something cheeky here, but won't dive under the tower to try and kill Shiwu. But yeah, Doran knew he was super strong, but ultimately ended up failing in a lot of things in that play. Ended up missing the ultimate, still trying to commit to the dive, traded flashes and didn't get that last auto, and then the shield came up, unfortunately. So, I mean, he's still strong, but you gave a massive winner to Shiwu, especially because Shiwu hadn't backed and hadn't bought. That was a point where he was particularly weak. But a nice way back in 4D+.
Yeah, it feels pretty good for them. Although at the same time, it does feel like just a tiny bit of fresh air when you're already struggling for air. And Doran is going to receive this wave coming in here. Do have the next Drake is going to be Cloud, so we'll be interested to see what kind of soul we get. Still have Ocean and Chemtech on the cards.
Yeah, I think we were talking about, I mean, again, D+'s scaling isn't bad. It's just, I think that composition in the later stages, you just don't have the setup you really want. We were talking about them having an early advantage setting up for soul, but they haven't had control of the dragons. So in this situation, that isn't really their current win con. So it is, I think, less important right now as to what the soul ends up being.
You see now that Faker is just able to lane against Shiyu as well. And
there's no lane he's having fun in.
Good, yeah. Faker still has that cloth armor, by the way. I do wonder if he eventually just makes that Zhonya's, as Lucid is going to force a flash out of Owner, out of his own Cataclysm. His Owner perhaps overstepping here, and not perhaps anymore. Down he goes. That's the shutdown given over to Shiyu, who did TP into the fight.
Yeah, and Faker opting to stay towards the boss side of the map, pick up this tower.
And that's a pause.
Pause ends up coming in. Not sure specifically what that was about. Didn't see anything.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get through it early on here, solve the issues, and get into the action. So we're going to take a look at the replay. And there is a chance that, you know, something happened to Smash where he couldn't join the fight. Let's take a look.
I mean,
looks
to be
fine.
Fair, see, he went back to mid to pick up the minion, and his team were like, why didn't you come help? And he's like, a client issue.
Client issue. The champion's bugged. He can't leave the mid lane.
No, but it was a good play for them, so it worked out fine. Not too much of an issue.
Are we? Yes. Yes, we are back in the action.
Faker's just farming bot lane, picks up the tower in return. An aggressive play by T1 on the top side, if you're not going to commit the members, is just gonna backfire. And she went now up in levels against Doran. It really was a major fumble when Doran had such an edge in terms of where he was in the game over Shiwu to have sort of misstepped in that dive. I still think he is stronger. But you can see he's been a lot more cautious now that Leandries has come in from Shiwu and that level advantage.
Well, Doran ganked for Faker. So now Faker has to gank for Doran. That's just the way it works. And by gank, they're just going to dive the turret as Shiu is just going to be CC'd 100-0. Down he goes. Doran is going to take a bit of damage, but a very nice setup there from Faker and Doran.
Yeah, ult connects that time. Shiu, no flash to escape from the public execution. And now Faker picking up another turret on the top side. So T1 just getting gold across the map. They didn't get that Herald, but you know, what do you use the Herald for? Taking towers. If you're just going to take the towers anyway, I think you're pretty happy. Dragon going to be seemingly taken here.
Yeah, no, Emperor's Divine. Showmaker not in a good spot here against Doran. It's just running him down. The Orianna's like, oh god, get me out of here. Yeah, and with no Showmaker, that's a Dragon over to T1. And it's Chemtech Soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa.
Okay. Faker does not have his Emperor's Divide, but he's taking a very aggressive trade. The team is following up, but you can see that Zhonya's coming in here. Pretty early bot with that early cloth armor that Faker did pick up as Owner going in, gets the kill, and Smash has to flash forward just to pick up the one in the trade. A very aggressive play from Faker in T1.
Crazy that Faker ends up living there, getting a lot of values out of the Seeker's Arm Guard in that passage of play, but very aggressive considering he didn't have the Emperor's Divide. And it's just a 1-for-1 in terms of junglers, but now Kerry and Pei is able to pressure this tower with the map pressure that fight bought. 3,000 gold lead for T1. They have 2 dragons in pocket. Is the Chemtech Soul crazy value? No. It's
good for Ambessa.
It's good for Ambessa, but it's still one of the weaker souls. But they'll take the game state as it is.
Uh-oh. I feel like Showmaker maybe could have finished that back, but instead has to...
Yeah, this Ambessa is a menace.
Yeah.
We are seeing right now. The replay here, so Faker goes super aggressive to try and set something up here with the root onto Career, but Career dodges it with the Shirley's movement speed. He gets rooted. Look how low he is when he's... I don't know what his health was in that moment. But Flash is out, able to disengage. Owner just survives, and then he ends up going down to a flash from Smash. Gets picked off there. But just some very aggressive plays.
Could have worked. I mean, it kind of worked, but could have been a little bit cleaner.
The thing is, it was also a big investment in terms of summoners and the Seeker's Arm Guard from Faker.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, if you get a favorable play, if you have a 3,500 gold lead now, you're not complaining.
I mean, that's part of the reason why a lot of our pro teams here at the LCK don't take crazy aggressive trades, because sometimes they can be risky, as trying to get the knockup while also avoiding the root kind of just gets Keria killed there. Lucid, nice to punish that one.
Yeah, trying to set up on the Karma when the Karma's, you don't really have the follow-up damage, it just pays from a distance, and a lot of shielding available to Korea here. We'll see the replay. Owner's just going the other way. Owner's looking bot for the Rumble. So this was a bit of a split call from T1. Just not really on the same page. Yeah, I think you really need the extra damage just to blow that Karma up if you're going for that play, or you just back out of it.
Yeah. Because if you don't have the damage, you just get rooted and die.
As we saw.
Mantra, Focused Resolve. What's the upgraded name of that one?
Do you want to know? You really want to know?
I actually do.
It's that important.
Yeah, we have the Soul Flare on the Q.
It's called Renewal.
Renewal? What about the E?
Heal you. Defiance.
It's okay. Nobody's going to have any idea what we're talking about if we do use those names, but maybe we will anyway.
Yeah. Do you know what the passive's called?
No.
Gathering Fire.
Oh, that's cool.
That sounds like when you have a Infernal Soul Rift.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we have a bunch of ults being thrown out here. By a bunch, I mean Paises. And Career does have to flash it. So still very good value. Nice dodge there on the root. Owner can just get away, although Lucid will follow. Feeling very strong on the Xin Zhao. He is quite farmed up. And nearly just takes out Owner. There it is. Smash going to finish off the kill with one auto right after Owner flashes.
Smash is on a big power spike right now with that Triforce, with that Mermana, and he is really putting the hurt down whenever he's given the chance to. Lucid as well. We talked about him being pretty hyper farmed despite the fact Ona's been making an impact, Lucid has been keeping up in terms of gold, and he's trying to make these skirmishes happen. There was a 3,500 gold lead for T1. That's been halved in just the last couple of plays. So here, you know, Root comes down, ult opens up, and it gives T1 a lot of confidence to move forward. But most of the damage is on the Karma. The last shot's flashed, but to be honest, the Karma's health is a lot less relevant because she can just sit back and shield people. That's all that really needs to be done. It's the other members moving forward. Lucid is healthy, Smash has enough health, and can just play at max range, landing skill shots. So nicely played there by D+. Dragon in 15 though. I said that the soul itself doesn't have a ton of value, but to be honest, the individual dragons, the healing from them, the tenacity, not bad, right? You have a decent amount of shielding and healing on the side of D+, and the tenacity into, you know, the Nico, the Jhin. Not something you'll complain about if you can pick some of them up. If you can stack up 4 Chemtech dragons, it's all right. But for now, it's T1 with more control in the area.
Yeah, T1 last time around, they were able to get the Cloud Drake because Showmaker just got pushed out of the bottom lane so early. This time around, he's able to exit the lane. They're trying to go in on the Xin Zhao, who just says, okay, you want to party, let's go. Goes in as a big trade. Both the junglers getting pretty low.
Yeah, but it's Ona using Cataclysm just on the Xin Zhao, and Lucid held his ult there. Could have burnt it, right, to mitigate a lot of that damage. Said, no, I want it for the fight. I'll hold on to it. And Ona will heal up off the Gromp, but I think lacking that cooldown, you feel a lot better. That being said, Doran just hit level 16. This Ambessa is a raid boss right now.
She's at least doing a good job of keeping him at bay. But if somebody gets rooted up and Doran gets access to a backline or really anyone, he is going to tear them apart. So
yeah, the amount of just stats you get on that level 16 ultimate is so absurd. TP coming in from Doran.
Look at Carrier's angle.
He wants to shield, and Carrier's coming on the flank as well.
Oh, he's just going to do it by himself. Showmaker in a lot of trouble, and now Carrier here on the flank. Lucid by himself on the Drake, and the flash comes through. They're able to catch Xiu as well, as he does drop the equalizer, and now Career helping him out as well as smash over the wall. But it's still double kill going the way of Pays, and the Drake going the way of T1.
She was getting a ton of value to turn that one around, but it's still T1 with the Dragon. They get the reward they want, and it's a 2-for-2 overall. So ends up being a closer fight than maybe you initially would have thought with how things started off. But it's still T1 one away from the Soul. And we see the replay. So Carrier's finding this flank angle as a minion, so you're less visibly obvious, and we see Doran just TPs, instantly goes for Showmaker here. But that does mean that Carrier kind of gets sussed out, has to use everything just to try and close distance, doesn't get smashed. Xiu turns it around and just melts them. Smash is able to retreat and get some damage down as well. And this Ezreal is consistently being an issue, has picked up the Endless Hunger as well, so insane amounts of ability haste available for this pick.
Yeah, and now Xiu's level 16 himself after picking up a bunch of damage in that last fight. You can see the top damage dealt does go the way of Smash and Xiu.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, he was doing a lot to Doran in the lane, but also we just saw what he's able to do in a team fight. So a lot of power with these two damage dealers, and Showmaker hasn't even really had like a big shockwave. They haven't been able to set that up. It's one of the things we keep on harping about DK's comp, but you know, if he hits a big shockwave and they can actually layer damage, DK absolutely can win a fight in a big way.
You see, Mortius picked up there for Doran. Did go Magical Footwear and hasn't upgraded the boots, so he's just like fully invested in completed items here. This Ambessa very scary still, and as we saw in the last fight, a big problem. It's still a gold lead for T1, they're one away from Soul. And it is the Ambessa who's going to benefit mostly from that Soul if they get it, so a scary prospect to deal with. And also Jhin has kind of gotten through that power trough when you go Ghost Blade, Rapid Fire, and you just feel like you're doing not much. Has the IE now, has that crit cloak as well. So you are critting consistently. Presumably going for a pen item next.
And it feels good to play Jhin into this comp before we get into like Game 3, Game 4 of Fearless, where people are just playing any sort of tank like a Sion or Cassante. Yeah, there's not a lot of tankiness on the side of DK.
There's a lot of targets you do good damage to on Jhin. The only thing that's a bit frustrating is playing into Xin Zhao, because you know, if your shots are wasted, you only have 4 of them, and then you have to reload.
Yeah. and he can stand in the front and block your ults as well. It's not the best feeling, but it's really just him, so.
Still T1 with the map control off the area.
And you can see they're not really rushing anything.
Have Seeker's Arm Guard picked up for Shiwu now, which is a big item completion.
All right, just going to ult on into Shiwu, who does take an immense amount of damage. And guess who's here as well? It's Paze. Shiwu, I think, just dies. He does use that Arm Guard, and not entirely sure why, to be honest. And they're going to give that kill over to Paze. Just trying to buy time, maybe, but the team was not in position to do Baron.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things where it's like, oh, what if they do Baron? You know, do I need an Arm Guard to stall for time? I think that's the theory behind them using it. But from our perspective, it was definitely a wasted Arm Guard. A roam down from Paze to pick up that kill, but Doran just saying, yeah, I can target you anytime. This Ambassador continuing to be a thorn in the sides, in the side of D+. And now they're kind of doing a multi-pronged approach. Doran's TP is about to come up, and Smash is bot.
Well, they don't have Smash. It is going to take a little while to take this Baron down, and that's really the hope here, as Lucid is the target. They're just going to turn onto him. And we'll see if they have enough damage within that, as Paze holding on to his shots for quite a while. And this type of Baron does do quite a lot of damage, as in goes Faker, trying to trade on the career, gets Lucid, and immediately goes golden. And Lucid eventually will go down. Showmaker desperately trying to do something, but is incredibly low, and that's just going to leave Smash out to dry as he gets shot down by the Jhin. Showmaker also gets baited into it. Xiu respawns, TPs, and it's already over. Although, I say that. Doran backing on a ward, equalizer's down, but I mean, keeping them low, but that's about it.
Yeah, we have Soul in 15, and the respawn timers are a lot better for D+. So we see Shiwu trying to chase them out to buy time. This was really rough because Smash is so far away and he's so much of D+'s power, but the Baron is shredding them, doing so much damage. Look how low Owner starts to get. He goes in onto the Zhao, but it's just getting shredded. And with the redemption damage as well from Korea, they're like, right, we actually have to disengage. We can't do this. Faker goes in super aggressive, but it's a bait. Catches out the opposing jungler, uses that Zhonya's to buy time, flash as well. Showmaker goes in for the kill. That just means he's so low on HP that he'll eventually go down too. It's a very scrappy fight, but now back on the map, we have D+ approaching slowly. Yeah. Faker has a crazy angle again.
Career, where'd he go instead? Faker just stabbed him a couple of times. Some soldiers, and that's going to be the end of that. Although Doran does go in, and essentially a zoning ultimate just to push them off of this Drake. This will be Chemtech Soul over to T1 as they continue to dominate this game 1.
It feels like Faker is just specifically targeting Korea in these last 2 passages of play. He just is like, I can just bully this guy out. He's so squishy. I can pick him apart. He sees the opportunity. The least experienced player on the other team, and he's just taking him off the rift every time. We see now T1 starting up the Baron. D+ trying to approach.
All right, they use that combo, but Curious got this angle on the right side, and that's going to be the end of Showmaker. Lucid not long for the world either, as the one-man Emperor's Divide does catch Xiu. And yeah, T1, they bait them into yet another fight here. Career respawns and doesn't hit a Mantra Q. And it's feeling pretty doomed for DK in this one. And maybe now they can take the Baron.
Yeah, T1 with so much setup, so many tools to get the fight going.
Oh, Career.
Oh, not again.
Think he's a... No, he's not okay.
He is paper.
He's very not okay.
He is paper. He just gets decimated. Anyone looks at me, he just dies, if we're being honest. Not having a fun time in this game, I think, is one way to describe it. And I think another person who's not having a fun time is Showmaker right now on this Orianna. It feels like Smash is the only person who's kind of thriving in these fights. He's not able to do enough, right? Because everyone's dying around him.
Yeah.
But you can see Smash able to reposition because he's playing the Ezreal, able to like dodge away from things, able to survive. And then every fight, it just feels like Showmaker is playing in a mobile mage into like 7 engage tools. Because he is.
He is.
Like Showmaker's low on HP. Oh, he gets ulted. Oh, where'd he go? I don't see him anymore. He's gone.
Yeah.
Shiva gets shuffled in, he's dead. And then Smash is like dodging, he's dipping, he's diving, he's repositioning. It's not enough. You know, he doesn't have the damage to cut through. Especially you add in this Chemtech Soul now, which you know, I said it was going to have the most impact on Ambessa, also on Jarvan. It's just making the front liners bulkier, so it's going to make Smash's job harder, cutting through these frontline bruisers. He doesn't have any pen yet, so, you know, the GA on the Jarvan, even though Doran doesn't have that much armor in his build, just the base armor from being level 19, nearly level 20, and the plated steel caps is going to make him pretty tanky. Level 20, yeah. It's a
level 17 of Shu. This game has very much gotten out of control, and Doran this time says the dive will work. Although, it doesn't look like it's working. He does push Shu off of the play, who still has his equalizer, but...
The problem is the whole team moves up to help, which you can understand a natural reaction, but it means that bot ends up getting clapped on. Now they're going for a TP flank.
Yeah, they got to do something here. They're going to go aggressive onto the Nico clone. That equalizer pretty good, though. The zoning, Pop Blossom, going to help out quite a bit, although Carry eventually does go down. And Owner just feels almost unkillable. He's going to stick in there for quite a while. He's still alive. He's still going. This guy is really actually unkillable. And now Faker going to force the flash out of Showmaker. And I think it's only a matter of time before we get a 1-0 scoreline for T1.
Yeah, I think that is it. They try to go for the TP flank, and honestly, Doran TP top at the same time. So T1 weren't expecting it, but it just didn't matter. There's too much gold, too many... Oh, end the game, end the game! Okay.
미드도 미드 줘. 미드 밀긴 했어 이거. 미드 차시 해볼게. 나 바텀 혼자 할게.
탑이 타도 되나?
탑이 타도 돼.
알아, 걸리지 마라. 럼블 공 있다. 나 막았어, 알았어.
싸워 너플. 다 돼.
디테일.
빼면서
아,
빼면서
빼면서 봐봐.
나
안쪽으로 안 돼.
봐봐.
자, 빼면서 해봐. 이즈 노플.
야 짜고부터 봐봐.
시간만 끌어줘. 이거 10초면 끝나?
우리 이길만해 이거 이길만해.
오케이.
아, 뒤에 맞고.
20초면 끝나, 20초.
길게 싸우면 될 때가. 이즈 노플이야. 우리 프리
네.
내려갈게. 우리 프리거 누구?
우리 높여.